Hogan again in A10. We're going to look at some political cartoons today from the Industrial Revolution unit. So the important thing I think when it's looking at cartoons is this: is that you have the cartoonist opinion in there, and that's just going to be one of the things that you're going to utilize as you're kind of like putting pieces together. So we'll take a look at some cartoons that gives you an idea of what was going on during that particular time period.
It's like the whole ELA author's
purpose. There you go. Same thing.
Author's purpose. Yeah.
Right. Perfect.
Couldn't spit that one out.
Because when you look at it, when you're getting into something such as like artistes or arts, sometimes there is a purpose behind their work. So let's take a little bit of time looking at this one, and some things that pop out right here. We have an octopus. We have these buildings right here. We have, let's see over here. We got the White House that looks like with the Capitol.
I would venture to say government officials, because they're all dressed in suits holding up a piece of paper that could very well be a bill. We've got oil derricks somewhere right here. Oil derrick. We got like shipping over here.
Yep.
Factories and railroads over here. There's a lot going on.
It actually says Standard Oil up there. So when we're looking at this in terms of the cartoonist putting his opinion in here, right? This is definitely not your nice octopus that you might find in a sequel to Finding Nemo. Generally speaking, if you look at his tentacles that are coming around, he is definitely gaining control of a lot of things. Government, shipping, politicians, the White House.
Octopi have gotten a bad rep.
They usually do. I know you like
political cartoons.
Yes.
They're always deemed as like the monster from the Pirate of the Caribbean, the Kraken.
Yeah.
From Popeye. Remember when we were kids? Robin Williams' Popeye. There was octopus was a monster there. So they're always depicted as monsters, which is like, ironic because like they're some of the smartest creatures in the sea.
And even though we don't have it in here, but there was another political cartoon where an octopus was used talking about Standard Oil.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's one of those things. It's unfair.
It's totally unfair.
Very peaceful.
Now I would venture to say whoever the artist of this cartoon was definitely read A History of Standard Oil by Ida Tarbell.
Yep.
The muckraker.
Definitely has a negative opinion on Standard Oil.
Yep. Because let's remember, Rockefeller, who I think we have a picture of.
Yeah, we do.
Rockefeller is becoming way too powerful. He controls everything by the late 1800s. I think I did like the research into this, and he is the richest man in the history of the world. When you account for inflation and his net worth today would be like $600 billion.
Now, in of course, there's that famous court scene where he's talking about this is the free enterprise system. He made the industry much more efficient.
Yep.
However, there was a hands-off approach to government. They weren't really heavily regulating some of these things that were going on. And some of these things, while on paper or in a political cartoon, do look pretty bad. A lot of this stuff wasn't really illegal. A lot of it was the way things were done.
Or it was illegal, but it clearly wasn't enforced.
Yeah.
The Sherman Antitrust Act, the law that basically said monopolies are illegal,
Sure.
was on the books.
This is like the 1800s.
The same way you can't drive more than 55 miles an hour on the Long Island Expressway is on the books. But no one's really enforcing that to the letter of the law.
So the cartoonist definitely has a negative opinion of Standard Oil.
Yep.
Definitely has a negative opinion of the corruption that is probably taking place. Definitely negative opinions on this. There's probably some positive things we could say about this. He did make the industry much more efficient. However, this cartoonist is definitely going with negative. Anything else we can add with this?
No.
I mean, we'll take a look at these other two cartoons, which I think is, this cartoon's sister or brother, if you want to take a look at that one. So if we look here, this appeared in Puck magazine, so the letter P up there, just so you're not confused.
Yeah, because sometimes it's on the fold,
right,
of the.
And you can kind of get mixed up. So while here we're looking at author's purpose, I think we should start with setting here if we want to make some ELA connections.
Yeah, definitely setting. We are in the Senate, bosses of the Senate.
Perfect.
If you've ever been to the Capitol building, the Senate has a gallery where you're allowed to go and watch. However, the people's entrance is closed.
Yep.
So we, the people, who the Constitution was written for, by, and of, aren't allowed in. Yet there's an entrance for all the monopolists, all those trusts coming on in. They're big.
Like money bags.
They're large like money bags, but I always make the connection with my students. When we see size in political cartoons, size represents many different things. Size represents wealth.
Yep.
Size represents power, but particularly El Gordo.
Yeah.
You know, the obesity.
When you start to exaggerate it,
Yeah.
you make
now
it a
we're,
point.
Now we're
Yeah.
looking at greed.
Yep.
Now we're throwing greed in there. This guy's he's not Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
No, he's not.
You know, he's large and
And
obese.
to add some things to it, we have dollar signs here. Of
Yep.
course, these top hats representing, wealth. The jackets as well. The people who are small here are the senators, and of course, they represent the people. And who does it look like has control here in the Senate? Is these monopolists. Who should have control in the Senate? The people. The senators work for the people, but again, when you're looking here, they're very small. And something to tie into with the other one, when you're looking at the tentacles and having power in government, that's what you see going on here.
I almost like in this one, he's looking back at like, hey, what do you want me
What
to
do you want me to say?
Yeah.
How am I going to vote?
How am I
gonna
voting
vote?
on this one?
How am I voting on this one?
Yeah.
And of course, this up here says this is a Senate of the monopolists, by the monopolists, for the monopolists. Another thing indicating setting.
And that's a play on the Gettysburg Address.
Absolutely.
The government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Yep. And of course, if you're understanding these two right here, by the time you get to this one, you've nailed it. Really. Here you have Rockefeller. What's in his hand? The White House. You don't know if the cartoonist's point was making a statement with, pollution to the environment. However, it doesn't look great.
No.
It could be something that we get into
Or
further.
just the fact that the capital is so
Yeah.
reliant on Standard Oil.
Definitely black.
Yeah.
And of course, when you're looking at oil, what is it being used for? It's being used in lamps to light people's homes. So where's the demand for it? It's almost like a need, I guess you could say. You need light. Everybody has.
And then
Everybody
eventually,
needs oil.
obviously, it becomes heating.
Yep.
It becomes transportation.
Absolutely.
It becomes everything. I mean, as we sit here on May 14th, 2021,
Yeah.
there are people around the country filling up garbage bags of gasoline in this country,
Absolutely.
fearing a gas shortage. They're the
Sure.
same people who took all the toilet paper 12 months ago.
So we have the Capitol right there in the background. He's got the White House in his background, and who's he? You got Rockefeller right on that nicely starched collar. Anything else you want to add with these?
No.
It's kind of nice how we just group these together. Poor octopus gets a bad reputation.
All the time.
You're gonna make me feel about that.
Size, wealth, power, greed.
Anything else I want to say about this while we're looking at something? No? We're good. Thanks for watching.